I wish I could just find the answer online.
Can't find all your answers online.
I'm always into looking up things on the internet.
Okay, so let's look what it says. It says it takes a dental hygienist 2 minutes to clean a tooth.
Right.
So that means 1 tooth per 2 minutes.
Right.
So 1 tooth per 2 minutes.
Let me see that pad.
So it's saying he cleans
1 tooth.
1 tooth every 2 minutes.
Right.
So 1 tooth over 2 minutes.
1 divided by 2. And 2 divided by 1 is 2.
Right, but 1 divided by 2 is the answer. See?
Right.
It's saying 1 tooth per 2 minutes. So in 1 minute, it's going to be if you know it's 1
Right.
tooth in 2 minutes, wanting to know 1 minute means you need to divide that time by 2. So 1 divided by 2 is a half.
So it'd be 1 over... Right? It would be 1.
1
Yeah.
over what?
2?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, that's...
20.
Way to go, bud. You said it.
I got lucky.
You need to solve this equation. 3x plus 1/2 x equals 14.
You did it, bud.
Do you want to take the hint?
First, combine the terms by adding their coefficients.
Yep. So 3x plus 1/2 x.
Alright, let's do this.
Alright, so it's 3x plus 1/2 x.
So we'd have to simplify it.
Yeah, we need to
Excuse me.
figure out what 3 plus 1/2 is. So that's basically like 3 over 1 plus 1 over 2.
Right.
So we need to have the same denominator here, right?
Right.
So we need to think of 3 in terms of how many halves is in 3.
2 can go into 1 2 times. Or 1 time.
2 goes into 1/2 time. But we'll get that.
Yeah, it's 1.
We need to get 1 and can we get our denominators the same? So 1 goes into 2 how many times?
2?
Right, so if we multiply this by 2, then it'll become 2. If we do it on the bottom, we have to do it on the top. So what's 3 times 2?
6.
6 over 2.
Cease.
1/2. So what's that going to equal?
That's 6 over 2.
Well, that's 6 over 2, but 6 over 2 plus 1/2, what does that equal?
That's 12 and 2.
Oh, you're just adding the fractions.
Oh, that's 7 over 2.
Right, there you go.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. So 7 over 2. So we added 3 plus 1/2, we got 7 halves. So 7/2 x.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not one of those type of answer.
Right, so now we have to solve. We combined first, now we gotta solve for x. So this is kind of tricky, remember? We're multiplying by a fraction here, right?
Right.
So 7 halves, which is a number, times x equals 14. So we want to divide by 7 halves to undo it, right?
So
that'll cancel, that'll leave x by itself. 14 divided by 7 halves. Dividing by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal.
Right.
Which is where you flip it and multiply it. So 14, so instead of divided by 7 halves, we'll multiply it by 2 sevenths.
Can you still see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We're only working on 1 light bulb here.
Why did you turn the light off? Okay, so now...
they burned out.
Okay. So now what do you have? You have 14 times 2 7ths.
So, 14... Oh, wow. You would divide that?
Right.
You would divide that and that.
Let me write this way. 14 times 2 7ths. This is just a simple multiplication. 14
right.
times that. But we could say 14 times 2
right.
is 28 divided by 7. Then you have to simplify that.
Right.
We can just simplify from the beginning. So 14 is 7. How many times is 7 going to 14?
2.
Okay, so that's a 2. That's a 1. So this is just 2 times 2. What's 2
right.
times 2?
4.
There you go.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. What's my name? Booyah.
You need to translate this word problem into an equation and then solve it. It takes Buddy 15 minutes to make a halfway decent-looking origami swan, and Ambrose 20 minutes to do the same. Working together, how many minutes would it take them to make 7 so-so origami swans?
Here's a hint for you, bud. Yeah, here's a hint.
That was Thursday's lesson. First time in lesson 28.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what does it say? It says it takes Buddy 15 minutes to make
right.
a halfway.
15 divided by 20?
Okay, so what's our rate here? It says it takes 15 minutes to make
what?
1. So remember, the rate is you're going to have... Your time is always on the bottom.
Right.
For our rate. So 15 minutes is our time.
Right.
And on top is 1. 1 to make A. Yeah, it says make A halfway decent. So
right.
1 over 15 is Buddy's rate.
15 divided by 1.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
Buddy's rate is 1 over 15. And it says Ambrose.
Which is 15. I wouldn't have worked.
And Ambrose takes 20
right.
minutes to do the same. So he makes 1 swan
right.
every 20 minutes. So our two rates are 1 over 15 and 1 over 20. 1 over 15 for Buddy, 1 over 20 for Ambrose.
Right.
How many minutes would it take them to make 7? Okay. So it wants to know how many minutes, that's X.
Right.
So you have 1 over 15x, it's the first rate, plus 1 over 20x, it's the second rate,
right.
equals 7.
Right.
So now we need to combine this and then solve. So 1 over 15x plus 1 over 20x equals 7.
Right.
Solve for x.
So, 1... Oh, I can't.
What's the first thing you need to do?
15. Not X.
You can't type x into a calculator. It doesn't work that way.
I wish.
I know. A calculator costs hundreds of dollars, probably. So it says 1 over 15x plus 1 over 20x equals 7.
Right.
So we need to solve this. What's the first thing we're going to do? What do you think?
15 over 1?
Well, what do you see? We have an x, we have 1 over 15x plus 1 over 20x.
Right.
So we have two terms that have x in them, right? So we can combine.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so... well, what do we have to add together first?
Everyone gets a sugar rush.
We're adding these two first, right? 1
right.
over 15 plus 1 over 20.
Right.
Okay.
But they have X in them, so...
Yeah, they both have X in them, so we can add
right.
them together. Alright. Now... 1/15 plus 1/20.
1/5 domain.
Look.
We gotta get them the same.
Okay, so what will both of these numbers? This is kind of a hard one. So
yeah.
Obviously, we could say 15 times 20 and 20 times 15. That'll be the same
Right.
number. But before we get to that point, I think we can find a number that both 15 and 20 will go into evenly.
Right.
And that number is 60. I'm going to tell you that right now. So how many times? What's 60 divided by 15?
Divided by 15. 4.
Okay. So if we multiply 15 times 4, we'll get 60. So let's do that. So multiply 4 on top and bottom. So 1/15 is equal to 4/60ths.
Right.
Now, how many times is 20 going to 60?
Divided by?
The other way around. 60 divided by 20.
Oh. Oops. Sorry.
So you multiply that by 3 on that side. So 1/20 is the same thing as 3/60.
Right.
So now what we have
Sorry.
what is 4/60 plus 3/60?
This is taking a long time.
Yeah, I know, these are longer problems.
16.
What's 3/60 plus, remember we're adding,
Right.
plus 3/60. So we're adding two fractions.
60 plus 3, which is 63.
No, you're not going to add these numbers together.
Oh.
Remember you add across, like
Right.
it's this number plus this number.
Right.
We're just adding two fractions together, so we're going to get another fraction.
Right.
So our denominator stays the same, right?
Right.
So that's a 60 on bottom. So what's 4 plus 3?
7.
Okay. So now we've combined this 1/15x plus 1/20th.
Right.
20th x equals 7/60ths x equals 7.
Right.
So now, let's get this paper.
Man, we're killing a lot of trees doing this.
I know. Okay. 7/60x equals 7. So now we need to solve for x.
So, do the 760 and 7.
Okay, so we're multiplying by a fraction.
Right.
Here that we flip it and multiply it.
Right.
So 7 times 60 divided by 7 equals, what is that going to be?
60.
Right.
So, 60 minutes.
Yep. Good job.
Thank you.
You got it.
We're not going to be able to finish this.
True or false?
No,
In an
that's
equation with two x's, the solution is the number that
Nope.
makes the two sides equal when
Same.
put in for both x's.